Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the final day of the FIDE Grand Swiss. This is Sagar Shah welcoming all of you. Today is a great day for Indian chess because we have a new Grandmaster for our country, Sankalp Gupta, who became the 71st Grandmaster. We are also going to see a lot of games today, and Sankalp will be joining us in this stream. So, and you will get to know about his story. I thought it would be a good time to not only look at some games with him, but also get to know how he became a grandmaster and what are the things he's achieved in the last few days. Because his story of becoming a GM is very, very inspiring. Okay, let me see if he's already here, and if he is here, then let me invite him in our stream.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hi, Sankalp.
Hello. Hi, Sagar.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
1 second. Let me get you here so that people can see you on a big screen. Where are you right now, Sankalp?
I'm in Serbia.
You are in Serbia.
Yes.
Congratulations for becoming the 71st Grandmaster of India.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling? Like what, 2 months ago, you had no Grandmaster norms and you scored,
Yeah.
I think, in 3 back-to-back events.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about it. Like, which tournaments did you score your norms?
All three were round robin tournaments. The first one was from 15th till 22nd October. It was a 11 game event. 4 GMs were playing. Indian was one of them.
This was in which country?
Serbia, the same
Serbia.
place.
Okay.
I scored 8.5 in that out of 11 and got the first norm. The second was from 23rd till 30th. It was a must-win game in the last round. I was playing against Momchil Petkov. He's and I am from Bulgaria. I managed to actually I lost the fourth round there, so I was only on 2.5 out of 4 and needed 4.5 out of last 5.
Yeah.
And managed to score. And here I lost the first game against Rudik Makarian. So here in the last tournament I needed 6.5 as the average was higher. And again, it was a must-win last game against Krishna Teja. And very happy that I managed to win.
Wow. So 2 must-win games to make your 2 final GM norms. And what was your rating before you went to Serbia?
2446.
So within 3 events, you gained 54 ELO points and also 3 GM norms.
Yes.
How did you do this? Like, what's the secret? Did you work very hard in the lockdown?
Yes, I worked during the lockdown. Also, after the Bangladesh tournament gave me a lot of confidence. And I worked with Swapnil sir, and that also boosted my confidence a lot. And took one game at a time and managed to score.
You said right now Swapnil, so that's Swapnil Dhopade, Grandmaster. Is he your coach? Who have been your trainers in this journey?
My first trainer was Nayandeep sir. He's from Nagpur.
Nayandeep Kotangle.
Yes.
Yes. And?
Then I learned from Gurpreet sir. Then Swayam sir was my third coach. And then Swapnil sir.
Okay. So, Sankalp, tell us a bit about your journey as well into chess. Who taught you first? Like, who was the person who introduced you to chess?
I live in a joint family, and I am the second youngest in the whole family. So, Nayandeep sir used to come and teach my elder siblings. We all used to learn together, and slowly they left just because of their studies, and I continued. I started at the age of 4.5.
4.5?
Yes.
And how old are you right now?
18.
18. So it's taken you for 13.5 years to become a grandmaster.
I did leave chess for 1 year. When I was 6 years old, I left chess and I picked it up again when I was 7. because of Nandip sir.
Why did you
He
Why
was
did you
one of
leave
my-
chess? You didn't enjoy it.
No, I used to cry a lot after losing. So my mother, we said like, okay, he's crying a lot, so we stopped.
Yeah, I see that in order to become a GM, you have to sometimes care about the game a lot. Like many youngsters I've seen who used to cry, they became like good players. Of course, it's not the best thing to cry, but it also shows that you care for the game, your results a lot.
Yes.
And what else? Like, who are the other people who have helped you in your journey of becoming a grandmaster?
My family members helped, of course, and Swayam sir, he was my first. I improved a lot under him. And then Harsh Kanoje, he's from Nagpur. He's a coach from Nagpur. He has been like a big brother. He encourages a lot. And by the way, today is my father's birthday, so it is I'm like very happy that
Wow,
I became a GM today.
amazing. What do your parents do?
My father, he has a construction firm. He's a civil engineer, and my mother, she's a housewife.
Okay. So in your journey, were there any sponsors who supported you, or were you funded by your family? How was it?
I am on a scholarship from IOCL since I think last 3 years.
Okay. So that Indian Oil Corporation has helped you quite a lot in your journey.
Yes.
Tremendous. And which are some of the materials that have helped you in your journey to becoming a GM? Some books, softwares. What has helped you?
Okay, everyone uses ChessBase.
That's good to know.
I have like many good books from ChessBase India. I've got many good books, like all the Grandmaster Preparation series, and Doretsky's all 6 books.
Okay.
And many books like I think it was Understanding Structures by Flores Rios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a very long list.
You have to read a lot to become a GM. And how does this change your life overall? Like educationally, you must be in 12th grade right now, or are you studying? How is it?
I completed my 12th and like first year I'm studying BBA.
Okay.
Yes.
And what's your plan now that because you usually to become a GM when you are around 24-40 need 3 GM norms, you say, okay, I need at least a year or at least some time, but you did it like in 2 months. So does that change your plans in any way now that, okay, I need to really work on chess?
The trip, actually, when I left India, I was planning to play 7 tournaments, 4 in Serbia and 3 in Spain. I might return now and then continue with Elo Brigade. So
you might not play the 4th Serbian event.
Yes, because it's a round robin event. I don't need to play it anymore. Okay, I'm not sure. I'll see.
You need to plan your return journey so that everyone at the Nagpur airport can come and receive you. Yeah, this is great. Sankalp, it is amazing how quickly you achieved this GM title. In fact, there were many other players who had achieved 2 GM norms, who were close to 2500, but you kind of leapfrogged all of them and became a grandmaster very, very quickly. And anything else that you would like to share with the viewers? Maybe your advice to all the youngsters who are watching this, what is needed for them to become a GM?
I think they should love the game and they should have a desire to score, like to achieve things. Before, I think, I'm not sure if it was before this trip or if it was before Bangladesh, but I watched the docu-series, The Last Dance. Have you watched it?
Yes, I have. I mean, a lot of people have recommended it. I saw one episode, but I think it's amazing. Yeah, it's about basketball.
Yeah, that fueled a lot, that passion and desire the Michael Jordan had. It is very infectious.
Amazing. So something inspiring to watch for all of you, The Last Dance. And Sankalp, before we let you go, can we just have a look at few of the games which are going on at the Grand Swiss? Maybe you can give your thoughts on that.
Sure.
Okay, let's have a look. Firstly, what are your thoughts on Ali Reza Firouzja? I think he's won the tournament already.
Yeah, he's very strong. Like he's my age and he's already world number 4.
He's my, Sankalp, you make me feel like I'm a bit old right now. Oh, I'm 31. I am still not a GM. And Firouzja makes other youngsters feel old, that he is world number 4 at 18. Yeah. And he's already, I think, booked his ticket into the candidates, which is very nice. But okay, what about Caruana versus Pragg? This is the position right now. The Black has just pushed his pawn to e4.
94 takes bishop c, 94, bishop e4, maybe bishop c4.
That's what he wants to do, bishop c4. And then maybe Black is fine, yeah, like it's around equal.
Yeah, bishop c6, there is bishop d3, rook d1, maybe bishop c2, or bishop e2 is maybe better. Or also rook e1 is there.
Rook e1. So would you say that this game is tending towards a draw? Oh, he's taken, by the way, with d takes e4. Fabi has taken on with the pawn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's around equal. Black will go bishop c4.
Yeah, bishop c4.
Maybe he'll go e5, knight d5. But okay, it's very sharp. Anything can happen. Maybe Fabi has some chances. I like White's chances here.
Because maybe rook c1, bishop b5, rook c7, you get your rook in, maybe. But
that I'm not sure, because then the a pawn might become dangerous. Maybe something like e5. What do you think about that?
Yeah, e5, knight, as you said, knight d5.
Is rook c1 possible?
Now rook c1, and then maybe knight b6.
Yeah.
So it's still complicated, but it's around equal, but could go either way.
I think so.
Okay, what about Yu Yangi and MVL? Oh, what a sharp position.
Yeah. Okay.
His last move was knight to f6.
I see the bar.
The bar says slightly better for white, at least, like, I mean, tangibly better for white.
Yeah. Is rook d4 possible? Okay. No. Knight d5, knight f4 is there. So what will white do?
White has to move the queen. I mean, the first natural thing comes to mind is offering a queen trade, perhaps.
Yeah.
But then you're losing this pawn, or what?
That's what like, it's a very sharp position. But okay, maybe after queen a2, but okay, queen e4, bishop e5, followed by bishop d3 maybe.
Bishop e5, queen e5, no, rook is hanging, so
okay, if queen e5, then rook e2 is there.
Rook e2, yeah. So he must take with the rook.
Yeah, okay, maybe here as well rook e2 is possible.
Yeah.
Actually, queen a6 might be better.
Yeah, but taking this pawn looks very risky. Like rook a8, but maybe not.
No, but even black has some problems with his
back rank issues, correct. Okay. So right now, Yu Yangi in the driver's seat. Perhaps he's already a pawn up, and although black has compensation, but it seems like if Yu Yangi plays it well, he could win this. And maybe if Yu Yangi wins it, he has good chances of making it to the candidates.
Are Yu Yangi and Caruana on same points?
Yes. Both are on. No, Caruana is on 7, and Yu Yangi is on 6.5. So
if Caruana draws, then Caruana should be through, right?
If Caruana draws, his tiebreak 1 is very high, 55. But Yu Yangi's tiebreak is higher than Caruana, 55.5.
Okay.
So
it's very interesting.
So I'll just show you and the viewers the standings right now in the tournament, so you can have an idea. These are the standings for now. So Firouzja is on 8. He's already won the event, it seems. Oh, but yeah, I mean, kind of won it, because Fabi is kind of drawing the game. So Firuza is, I guess, first.
Yeah.
And if you look at Yu Yangi, he's on 6.5 and he has 55.5 as his first tie break. So it seems like he might become the champ. He might not become the champion. He might get the second spot. And then, but it's also possible that, MVL can hold this position. And then Fabi becomes the number 2. And then he gets to the candidates. Or if Caruana wins,
Fabi should. It is possible Fabi wins and he gets outright second.
Correct. I mean, Caruana winning is looking unlikely at this point, as we saw. But you never know, because he's definitely quite strong. I mean, much stronger than Predke. But Alexander Predke has had a great event here.
And also nerves will play a huge role.
Yeah, true. Okay, let's look at a couple of Indian games, Harikrishna, Pentala, because, somewhere if an Indian player wins, there is some outside chance that they qualify to the Grand Prix, top 8 players.
Yeah, top 8 is. Hari has chance, right? Or
Hari, Shashi and Nihal, but Nihal
would have very good chances, I think.
Sorry?
Sasi, he lost yesterday, right?
Right.
Yeah, he had good chances before that.
So this position here, Harikrishna versus Yuri Kuzubov, has taken on D5. I think Hari wants to go A5 here. Maybe push the knight away and then take on D5.
Yeah. Is A5 D into E4 possible?
But AB6 check, no?
Okay. AB6 bishop C2 is there.
So A5, D check.
Yeah, AB6 bishop C2.
And now just bring your bishop back. Correct. And white is better. So he has pushed A5. You think Hari has some chances here because let's say knight C8. You take ED.
Yeah.
And looks at least more active for white.
Right. Maybe he can get some knight B5 stuff in as well. Not sure. Slight edge for white, but black should have enough resources, I think.
Right.
Like for example, if you go bishop G4.
Yeah.
Rook F1, he has bishop H5. Also, the knight is coming to D6.
Yeah, once the knight blocks there, it can become very... But Hari is very good at such small edges.
Yes, of course.
So,
of course, he's the endgame maestro.
Yeah, and he's played very well in this tournament, I would say, because he was 1.5 on 3. And then now he's on 6 points out of 10. So in the last 7 rounds, he scored
+2.
Yeah, +2, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
In this event.
Hari is very strong.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about Nihal? I think Nihal is someone is a good friend of yours, right?
Yeah.
And he remained unbeaten in the Grand Swiss, which is, I think, an achievement in itself.
Yes. It was a very strong event and he played some good games. He defended that game against Caruana. His tenacity.
Crazy. I was I was commentating. I was like, okay, come on. He cannot draw this against world number 2, but he did it.
Yeah, he defended very well. And
a lot of people in the chat say that Nihal made a lot of draws, 8 draws in this tournament and all of it. What is your feeling on that? Do you think that it's a lot of draws, or do you think that, remaining unbeaten is a good achievement here? What do you have to say?
But it was not like he made any short draws in the opening, right? They were fighting games and which ended in draws. So he tried his best, and remaining unbeaten is also very difficult as well, because even the champion, he lost to Caruana.
Correct.
So
yeah. And I think if we just look at Nihal's scorecard, because his tournament has ended here, he has also drawn his last round. This is his scorecard. He has gained close to... the last 11. Game is not registered. So he is gained close to 12 ELO points, which gets him to 2664 ELO.
Yeah.
And he drew with Caruana, Navara, Maksudlu, Fedosiev, Dubov. All kind of great world-class players.
Yes. He played well.
Yeah, till a lot of time, like till round 9, I had a feeling that if he scores one more win, he was in with a chance even to fight for the top 8 spots.
Yeah. I was following as well.
Yeah. But okay, that's, guys, this is how he will get stronger and maybe next time score more wins. What about Shashi Kiran against Anton Korobov? This looks crazy position.
Yes, but I prefer black here. The knight on e5 is a monster, and white's king is kind of weak. Maybe I'm thinking of being greedy here.
Last move was h6.
Yeah, he played g6.
What was your greedy idea?
Was rook f1 possible?
Rook f1, and you want to take on b2.
Okay, if I don't get mated, I would like to take on b2.
Yeah, maybe it's not a bad idea. And then you take here.
I take on c2 as well.
Take here. I think rook f2. Maybe queen d3.
Queen. I want to prevent queen f4. Queen f4, queen f8 is the threat. So queen c1 maybe.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Okay. Maybe knight d5 is there?
Knight.
Not sure, but knight d5 could be possible.
And a take?
I was thinking bishop d7 followed by queen f3.
Oh, queen f3 here.
Okay, this is a blunder.
Because of this, but not so simple, to spot this move.
Maybe queen h3.
Yeah. Queen h3. With the idea of queen e6.
Okay, it's a crazy game.
Yeah. It's very complicated, but great calculation here, Sankalp. I would say you are in top form right now, showing your analytical form, and maybe not a bad idea to continue playing and win more rating points.
Yes, I'll see.
But yeah, I mean, once you become a GM, of course, it's good to also take a break for some time. So this was Shashi. And I thought Shashi Kiran was doing very well in his game, like out of the opening. Like here, it seemed like
this is knight d3, knight off, right? I have... no, but he took knight c6.
It was bishop e3, e6.
E3.
And here h4, f5. Yeah, he was kind of aggressive, but somehow this is the thing which happens in Sicilian. Yeah, you overextend and then black fights back and has positional advantage. And I think already black is doing very well.
Yeah, black is already preferable, I think.
I mean, if you have to play a move like rook b1, that's already bad news for you.
Yeah. Maybe he could go g6 at some point.
But when?
Okay. Go back a bit.
Sure,
was g6 possible here? No. Instead of fe6.
Instead. Yeah, possible. FG.
We can even take fe, followed by knight d5.
But then here? Yeah, maybe knight.
You'll just take on h4 as well, or what?
Yeah.
But okay, if I can hold on to it with like bishop h3.
Yeah. This is complicated, and in fact, Shashi could have tried to play a little more aggressively here, but the way he did it, like fe, I thought black got everything. Knight e5, b4.
Yeah, that bishop d8, bishop b6 was a very nice maneuver.
Correct.
I don't know if he could prevent, Shashi could prevent it. Somehow, prevent the exchange of the bishop. Or maybe sacrifice somehow, something.
Yeah, but right now, I mean, this seems really bad for Shashi Kiran.
Yeah. True.
This
There are
is
many
good.
weaknesses. The king is weak. The pawns are weak. The knight on e5 is very strong.
Yeah, this knight is a monster. It can't be moved away.
True.
So
the b2 is weak. e4 is weak.
Yeah.
And black's e6 weakness is defended with the bishop. So.
Wonderful. Cool. Sankalp, this was wonderful having you here. You came, from Serbia. It was yesterday, right, that you achieved your GM title, or was it today?
It was today.
Today. So it was like today you won your final game and achieved your GM title just a few hours ago.
Yes.
Amazing. How are you going to celebrate? Do you have any of your family members with you there, or are you alone?
No, I came alone.
You came
I'm
alone?
Staying
with whom?
Nitin.
Okay. Yeah. Well, any plans of celebrations tonight?
Maybe we'll go to some cafe or we'll see.
Or play some blitz or bullet. That's how grandmasters celebrate their grandmaster title. Well, Sankalp, we are very, very proud of you, proud of your achievement, and really huge congratulations to you.
Thank you so much, Sagar. Thanks a lot.
Bye. Guys, that was the 71st Grandmaster of India, Sankalp Gupta from Nagpur. He is, just 2 months ago when he went to Serbia, he did not have a single GM norm. And in order to make a GM title, you need 3 GM norms. And he managed to get all 3 of them in 3 back-to-back events. This is very, very rare what he has managed to achieve. And so really, it's a big achievement for India. And even in this, pandemic where there are not many tournaments being held, the Indian youngsters are achieving GM titles. We had Harshit Raja, then we had Ritvik Raja. We have all these youngsters who are achieving this feat in spite of not having too many tournaments. So I'm very, very glad that we are getting more and more grandmasters. How are you in the chat, guys? I hope you enjoyed listening to our grandmaster who was here. Yes, today also, Sama is going to start streaming. I was also very happy yesterday. Vidit and Anish streamed. So it is very nice how everyone is, back to streaming a bit here and there. By the way, Arjun Erigaisi has completed his event here. He drew his game against Radoslav Wojtaszek. In fact, Arjun was in some difficult situation here by this time, but he managed to hold on to his position and draw it, which is quite a great result. Let me see how Arjun has performed. Let's see. By the way, first I want to see what you guys are writing. Ali Reza into candidate says Pablo Escobar. Absolutely. Arka Ghosh says, hope that you will be GM one day. Thank you. I also hope that will happen. Monindra Nath Das says, I'm sad. Why, Monindra Nath? What happened? Ritesh Chandra says, MVL game equal. Yeah, this is very exciting, guys. कि कौन दूसरा बंदा है जो candidates जाएगा? It's a big fight, and I think we should also look at that because Caruana is around equal. What Sankalp said has actually happened. E5, knight d5 has happened. in the position. And on the other hand, we just got the news that MVL is equalized this game, which means Fabi's chances of getting to the candidates increase considerably. Harikrishna, can he win, says Abhinan's Ram Shankar, considering he's an endgame expert? That's a very good question. Let me just see. Yeah, the main problem, I think, are there only 4 pawns left on the board. So there could be some chance, like lack of chances, but let's see. I mean, we will keep an eye on this game as well. Anisha Roy says, I don't think Vishy wants to play in the candidates again. I think overall Vishy might not play in the Grand Prix. So maybe this year Anand is not going to fight in this cycle. That's my thinking, but I'm not sure. I don't have any conclusive news on that. Sagar, Sankalp has many similarities to Vidit. Yeah, maybe he also, he kind of idolized, or at least you can say he must have learned few things from Vidit. Vidit is, of course, an inspiration to many chess youngsters in the country. Yeah, Tanya also streamed, Bisu M says. Yes, exactly. And Tanya's streams are very interesting. She eats some chilies. She does all these different kinds of things. Don't move the queen. Capture every move. Move the king in the opening. Her streams are very exciting. Navya's period says, Sagar sir, how do you make such good photos? Kahan se bana lete ho? These thumbnails are created by Abhyudaya, who makes them, and it's all because of him. 6.5 for Nihal, 5.5 for Arjun, 5 for Gukesh and Pragg. Oh, Gukesh, Pragg, I think they played each other and they drew. Kshitij Chaudhary says, can Vishy Anand get a spot in Grand Prix through rating? I believe he could, but I don't think he might want to play, but I'm not sure. Nihal's games, Meghaj, ended in a draw. Janvi Mittal says, finally Samay will be live. Will you be joining? Yes. Maybe I'll join him for some time. Grand Swiss is tougher than Grand Prix. Not sure. I mean, I think Grand Prix might be slightly tougher because it's like round robin and there will be stronger players playing there. I mean, in Grand Swiss, we had all the top world-class players but there were also 2600s, there was few 2500s, but in Grand Prix, I think there will be all like 2700 plus players. Aditya Mittal says, when you prepare for GM title, also teach us how you prepare. In this way, you can achieve both of your dreams. Yeah, I believe that the only thing is that when you prepare for GM title, you really need to sometimes just kind of focus and work on it. You can't stream much. You can't do too many videos. It's like your examinations are coming and you can't do much of watching the streams, and so you need to focus. So that's what I think. Although when Levy was trying to become a GM, or maybe he's still trying to become, I had told him that what he's trying to do is simply amazing, because he tries to also make videos, share his journey, at the same time playing tournaments. I found that personally very difficult when I was writing articles and trying for my GM title. I found it too much load. I think there were many events where I used to play the game, then come back and write reports for like 2-3 hours, sometimes even 4 to 5 hours. And it got very tiring. So then I said, okay, let's do one thing. And I mean, you can commentate, you can make videos. These are all like related things. But playing somehow requires a different focus. Sagar, what do you think of the performances of Indian youngsters? I think Nihal did very well in the boys. I also think Vantika did amazingly well in girls. She was playing tremendously in the entire tournament, and I enjoyed her games. In fact, I want to see how she's doing today as well. Let's have a look at Harika. Oh, Harika drew her game. That would mean Harika might finish in top 5 at least of the tournament, which is a great result. And Vantika is playing against Natalia Pogonina. Slightly worse position because her bishop is kind of dead on g2, but it can come back from f1 to d3. But Vantika, she achieved what? Look at this. Look at her score. She achieved 48 elo points, which is like 23, which takes her to 2370. And she lost only one game with Koschenyuk. Uske alawa, she beat Divya, Carolina Lujan, Natalia Buksa, drew with Mariya Rabidze, Munguntul, Anna Sargsyan, Zansaya, Pia Kramling, Stefanova. Wow, what a performance. She also made her maiden IM norm. I think Vantika is slowly, becoming one of the strongest female players in the country. Veritasium says, Hemlo Sagram Baim Lamu. Thank you, Veritasium. That is, I think, what Gamer Fleet says. That's his language, if I'm not mistaken. By the way, you also had a member today. Lavesh Tulsija was the first member. Thank you so much, Lavesh, for becoming backer of Indian chess. Okay. Vaishali is playing here. It seems like Vaishali has kind of run out of pieces, right? She gave a lot of checks and the king is now safe. And I think she might lose this game. Yeah, Kashlinskaya will win with fight. Kush Jain says, yesterday you said there is no women's Grand Prix, but actually there is, and top 8 here qualified to women Grand Prix. Maybe it would be for the next cycle, not for this one, I think. So this year, the women's cycle for which, the 2022 candidates for women, I think maybe this Grand Prix might be for the next 8 places, might be for the next one. How much time will Nihal take to reach 2700 says self-sufficient? I'm not sure, but I think considering he's already 2664, if he has like 3 to 4 good events, could be that he might reach it within, like 2-3 months. It's possible. Atreya says, you do great work, Sagar. Thank you so much, Atreya. Shaibi Binod says, I'm waiting for Fritz 18 to be downloaded. I want to use and improve my chess. Sure, Shaibi, and I think it's just now 8 days away when you will get it. 16th of November is when it will be released. Chess D says, Nihal is 2662. Okay, got it. But Chess D, after today's game, doesn't he gain like 1 or 2 elo points more? Maybe after that, yeah? Goblet Fire says, how did Ali Reza manage to improve his rating so much in the last couple of years? It's amazing, yeah, how he did it. Because I was just thinking about it. By the way, Dalalian Elena has beaten Divya Deshmukh today. So Divya's performance in this tournament, just so that, we can know how she did. Divya scored... She lost the last round, so she scored 4 points, and I think around 7-8 elo points she lost, which is, I think, not a bad result. She beat Jovanka Huska, and she drew with Zawadzka, Zolanta, Millet Sophie. So it's a good learning experience for the young girl from Nagpur. I think she definitely needs all the exposure that she can get right now. And it was a good comeback from, she studied a lot last year and now she's made a good comeback. Padmini Raut, on the other hand, seems to be slightly worse in this position against Mary Arabidze. I think Padmini was one of the players who was not very, very lucky, I would say, in this tournament, because she got so many good positions, but she wasn't able to convert that. So even if she loses today, she might not lose too many elo points. Look at this. Her performance is close to her rating. She might lose like around 5 to 6 elo points, which is quite okay. And in the middle, if you see, she was completely winning with Alina Kashlinskaya. She had a better position against Zhu Zhiner, I think, in the first round. I mean, she had many, many good games. And she beat Pia Kramling, Vaishali, Isa Gueri. So she played very well, I think. Arjun's performance in Grand Swiss. Okay, let's just have a look quickly at Arjun Erigaisi's performance in the Grand Swiss. What amazing, yeah. Arjun gained rating in this event. Last round also he drew. So Arjun lost 2 games to Sanan Sujirov and Onishchuk, but he beat Goryachkina, he beat Zwagintsev, and he scored 50%, 5.5 out of 11. So good going by Arjun Erigaisi. So, sorry, I didn't show the screen. Yeah, this one. This is the screen for Arjun Erigaisi. How is tournament performance rating calculated? So generally what happens is, let's say Arjun's opponent rating, when you add up all these ratings, this opponent's rating 2720, 2714, 2673, and when you add them all up, let's say it comes to 2650, and if you score 5.5 out of 11, which is like half the scores, then your performance is 2650. If you score 5 points, then your rating is reduced from your average rating of opponents. So it becomes like 2620, 2610. And if you score 6 points out of 11, then it becomes like 2670, 2680. Do you get it? Rohit Gopinathan says rating before the start of the tournament doesn't include his Spanish league's rating, where Nihal lost a few rating points. His live rating is 2662. Got it. Vinod S says there is no Indian player after Anand to win major tournaments. That is shameful. I don't think it is shameful. I think it is just the situation that Indian chess is right now in such a position where there are so many talents who are young and upcoming, and it's very likely that in the next few years we will have them dominating in the sport. Like, I can tell you that there is no country right now which has like 5 talented players above the elo of 2600 and below the age of 18 years. So Arjun, Nihal, Pragg, Gukesh, Raunak, all of them very strong. And all of them, by the way, will be playing in Tata Steel Chess India, all 5 of them, which makes the Tata Steel Chess India such an exciting event to follow, guys. Please follow it. It will start from the 17th of November to 21st, and it will be so exciting to see all these young talents playing there. Let's also look at who's going to fight for the second spot. So right now, e5 was played, knight d5. He went rook c1, as we saw, knight b6. Fabi goes knight f5. Okay, what if I take here? Raj Agarwal says, Sagar sir, Russia has more young talents than India. I'm not sure about this statement. I mean, when it comes to, let's say, players below the age of 18, it's difficult to say who in Russia are right now at the top. So I know there is Murzin, who's very good. I know Esipenko, but Esipenko is one. He's around 18, or maybe he's now close to 19 years. But apart from them, are there any more? Movie Tales. Nihal is undefeated in Grand Swiss is big. Yeah, Movie Tales. I agree with you. Yatin Nagar says, can we get live cams of every game at Tata Steel? Yes, Yatin. On ChessBase India, you will be able to see that. Yes, Sindarov and Abdusattarov are very good. So, that's from Uzbekistan. So, they are also pretty good. So, take Rook C7. This could happen as well. And I think, yeah, this game is worth looking into. But also, Yu Yangi, I don't know. Currently, there are only 2,700 players under the age of 18. Vincent Kmar is also close to 2660. Agreed. Vincent Kmar is very talented. Very talented. So, one second. I just wanted to see where did he lose. Shwetank Pandey says either coach or IQ. What matters most? I didn't get the question, Shwetank. Coach or IQ? Take Rook E8, 95. Okay, we saw till this point where it seemed like Queen B3, Queen E4, everything was looking good. He took on E5. Maybe here Rook F2 or Bishop C1 was the better move, and White has an advantage because he has the bishop pair in an open position and his rooks are well placed. But the moment he exchanged one of the rooks, Rook E2, Knight E4, and now Queen D5. Maybe Rook D5 was slightly better, but Queen D5, Queen F4, and this is the position on the screen. And now if in this position Yu Yangi and MVL ends in a draw, just so that you guys are aware about everything. Is Anish playing Tata Steel? Says Rohit Reddy. No, Anish is not playing Tata Steel Chess India, but he will play Tata Steel Masters, which will happen in Jan in his home country, the Netherlands. So I was just showing you this. Alireza Firuza drew with Grigory Oparin. So Alireza moves to 8. Oparin on 7.5. Now if Fabiano Caruana draws, he reaches 7.5. So he ties with Oparin. But Caruana's tiebreak is better. And Yu Yangi is on 6.5. He will draw, he will move to 7. Vashir Lagrau will move to 7. Shirov and Vincent. So there are many players on 6.5 actually, but all of them have a lower tie break. So I think if Yu Yangi and MVL ends in a draw, then Caruana most likely becomes the number 2 player to go to the candidates. We have a super chat by Gaurav Voice who says, me for CA final 2022, you for GM 2022. Okay. Then you should remove CA final. No, you should say CA. Otherwise, you can say you can also try for GM title in 2022. You can try for it. So, but yeah, you will become a CA, Gaurav. All the best. Shaibi says, Sagarwa, in World Championship in Dubai, can all people go and watch the games live? I believe yes, but you need to have some of the things done from the perspective of COVID regulations. Also, you have to read up on the Dubai Expo regulations, what are there. And I think you should be able to visit. सागर भाई, हाउ डू यू फील दैट पहले टाटा स्टील का मैच आप लोग लाइव रिकॉर्ड करके अपलोड करते थे, इस साल आप लोग लाइव स्ट्रीम करोगे? दैट्स अ ह्यूज चेंज. या आई एम एक्चुअली वेरी हैप्पी दैट वी वुड बी लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग इट, those games, because you know, it's very nice to bring you live updates of these fast paced games. It will be fun. Also, Tanya would be commentating with us, Samay would be there. It would be great fun to do it with them. Also, we will try to bring you the recordings of these games, baad mein, which you can see later in case you missed the comment. And in commentary, you know, we have to keep switching between the games. So later on, you can see those games fully. Yeah. Gukesh versus Pragg drew. Shall we just quickly look at how that game ended in a draw? Gukesh versus Pragg. You know, guys, one more thing I noticed, and maybe this is something which maybe it's just my mental setup, but I'll share with you what it is. So by the way, Pragg is black. He plays the semi Tarash. Gukesh is white. D2. And by the way, although they are good friends of each other, I'm sure that they decided to, you know, fight. I don't think they would draw the game without a fight. Okay, so Gukesh has a nice position. Maybe he should have considered D5 here, getting a passer. He went rook e1, a6, d5, take, 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 take. Okay, one question is what happens if I take here? Maybe he wanted to plan this move. Queen a7 attacking here. Queen d7, d6. That was maybe his plan. He took queen e3, rook e3, rook d8, d6, takes rook e8. Here, bishop f7. PD5. Okay, pretty stable draw, I would say. Maybe g6 was not the last move. He must have taken rook f2, and then draw would have ensued. Okay, just to see how these two players did in this tournament, let's have a look at their result card. Pragnananda, I think, yeah, he has gained rating, which is cool. Pragnananda is now 26. I think he gained a couple of elo points, 26-20. He beat Adhiban, he beat Rauf Mamedov. So, decent tournament. I think Pragg would not be very happy, but not too sad as well. He played okay. And Gukesh lost 7 elo points. That's rare for Gukesh. You know, he's always been gaining elo points. But here, somehow, in that middle, he lost to 2 games to Navara and Raunak and then Yakuboev. Yeah, tournament didn't go particularly well for him, but he's been on this huge trip, you know. He was playing in Armenia. Before that, he was playing in Bulgaria. Before that, he was playing in some other tournament. So he's been traveling like anything. And so good experience for our young kids, I would say. Yeah, sad for Adhiban says Supratik. He lost a lot of elo points. I agree with you. Adhiban might not be very happy with his tournament. But, you know, I would love to talk to Adhiban after this tournament, and, you know, how he takes in losses is a big learning for all of us who play sports. He's always very positive. Anand Sundaram says, Sagar, do you think players' ratings improve with chess? Oops, he retracted the message. I couldn't read it. Raunak scorecard says QXW. Okay, let's have a look at Raunak Sadhwani's scorecard. I think he's still playing his last round with Hans Niemann. But this has been a good tournament for Raunak. If we see, he has beaten Rakhmanov, Gukesh and Alexei Drev. And he's gaining 7 ELO points. Pablo Escobar says Ali Reza at 18. Reached candidates, world number 4, beats top players. Me at 18, writing in CBI chat. Ali Reza is 18, reached candidates, world number 4, beats top. You know, I had this funny thing when I was young, around 18. I used to see like all the top players and I would say, you know, what's his age? Like, for example, some guy. And I would say, oh, he's 22. His rating is 2700. I'm still 18. I'll have 4 more years to catch him. And so I was very positive. You know, when you are young, you think that way. Now, it's not easy to think that way. So, but you know, somehow when you look at chess players, it's a little bit disheartening, this entire field. Why? I mean, in the sense that the careers of the players by the age they reach 27, 28 is already like, oh, he's already 27, 28. He's no longer so young. 12, 13-year-olds are coming up. At 16, this guy is so and so. 18, he's already a candidate and so on. So you start feeling old at the age of 28, 29. While if you are a doctor or an entrepreneur or something else, your actual career is just taking off at this age. It's a little weird, yeah. And chess play, I feel it's a little bit. I think it's true for any sport, right? In a way, not just chess. Yes, Le Tingye from women's to qualify for candidates with a round to spare. I want to show you Le Tingye's performance, guys. She has been like, what a player. She drew her last round with Zhu Jiner, I guess, or she's still playing. I'm not sure. 1 second, let me just be sure. I think, is she still playing? But until now, look at this performance. She has a performance of 2771, gaining 30 ELO points at 2505 ELO. That means she goes to 2535. She beat Irene, Atalik, Gunina, Zawadzka, Nino, Batseashvili, Alina Kashlinskaya, Alexandra Koschenyuk. What a tournament for her. Arsh Gangulwar says, I remember Sankalp. He was something around 2000 in National School 2016. He was winner of my category. And I even had chat with him that time. Yeah, true. I mean, Sankalp's growth also has been amazing in 5 years. I think if you say in 2016, he was 2000 ELO. So in 5 years, he's gained 500 ELO points, which is amazing. By the way, you can see how Caruana is keeping the pieces on the board. He's like, fight करते रहेंगे जब तक Yu Yangi और MVL का गेम खत्म नहीं होता है. Because this is the game where anything. Oh, by the way, look at MVL's last move. He's gone Rook C5, and here there is a very interesting move. And you have to be careful, guys. You have to be careful. Like, let's just imagine you play a move like Queen D3. You are going to be completely busted after Rook A5, King B1, and now it's your turn to find the winning move here for black. What do you play here as black? Black to play. Come on. Can you find it? I haven't asked you too many questions here. Will Caruana qualify if he draws this? It all depends, Akshay Mohan, on this game as well. If Yu Yangi manages to win this, Caruana might not qualify. So he has to keep an eye on this game. let his position keep going, because that is a draw, kind of a draw. Yes. Let's see if you guys have found this move very quickly. Yeah, you guys have spotted it. The move here that has been played. Let me just bring up the chessboard so you can see it. Yeah. The move here that all of you have suggested, many of you, is knight d2. Joysula Karthik, Sals the Music Band, Satvik Acharya, Saurabh Bist, Amrit Menda, Gauri Saraswat, Savita Chess, Gaming 2021, Pragyanshu and Santanu Ghoshal. So knight d2 check is the move here. And the point is, if you take with the rook, I will take on e1. If you take with the queen, I will take here. And if you take here, then I have rook e1 mate. So he didn't play this. He went queen takes c5. Very interesting. He didn't go to d3. He took the rook. And then after this, knight takes, rook takes e8, king g7. So an imbalance has been created on the board. And the imbalance is that right now, white has two rooks, black has the queen and knight. Now, generally, it would seem like the two rooks are better in such positions. But I get a feeling that the white king is not very safe. Why? Because let's say I go queen, a4 check, then maybe put my queen here, knight comes here. I'm already attacking here. If you push b3, knight jumps to c3. So the knight and queen can actually create a lot of problems for white king. And that's the reason why right now I would say the game is balanced, but could go also in MVL's favor. We never know. We have a super chat from Sandeep Ray who says, keenly waiting to meet you and team in CCU TSCC 17 to 21. Tata Steel Chess Championship, and CCU is maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to seeing all of you who are in Kolkata. By the way, I was going to tell you, rook e3. Yes, that was a move that was, Shivant says rook e3, everything is solved. Nice, Shivant, he's played it. Yeah, I was saying, there was this thing mentioned. I was saying that generally every day when I'm commentating, I feel very tired, yeah, after a while. And what I realized is that when I wear these earphones, I feel more energetic than when I don't. Is there any logic behind this? Like these headphones, nothing is playing, yeah, inside it. I can't even hear myself. It's just that I can hear myself a little lower than if I commentated like this. And somehow if I kept on commentating like this, I feel very tired. But if I do it this way, I don't. So the logic which I understand from this is that maybe my voice gets very tiring for myself to hear after a while. But if I do it this way, I can't hear myself so well because of the noise cancelling thing. Mandeep Pratesh says, tired of listening to yourself. I think so. Akshay Mohan says, I usually find headphones more taxing. Exact opposite. Yeah, I mean, when I'm not talking, I find that tiring. But when I'm talking, maybe it's different. I don't know. Yeah, no idea if this really. By the way, Agriya Kumar says, if Hari wins, will he manage to come in top 8? Agriya Kumar, the unfortunate part is that Harikrishna has the worst tiebreak, like on 6 points. He's at the last spot. And also his position is not at all by any stretch of imagination better. More and more pawns are getting exchanged. So I think this will also end in a draw. Satyajit Patra says, you don't hear Amruta. Simple. No, anyway, I don't hear her. Anyway, even when I don't hear, put the earphones. That is not the right reason. And don't put me in trouble. Shashi Kiran versus Anton Korobov. Ooh, Shashi Kiran's losing. Totally losing here, guys. Because queen is here, this pawn is falling, knight is attacked. Yeah. We looked at till this point somewhere after h6, g6. Yeah, here he went rook d1, a5. By the way, travel Nikhil Roshan says, सागर भाई कौन सी डेट पे मिलेंगे आप कोलकाता में, मुझे आपका इंटरव्यू लेना है. अरे निखिल रोशन, आई थिंक I'm there from maybe 16th to 21st. So anytime. I think the best time would be after the day has ended or before the day begins. Most likely this will be the best time because during the rounds I would be commentating. So then before or after would be the best. b3, rook c8, rook f8, rook f8, bg2, rook f2. What a move, yeah, rook f2. Because if you take, he wants to play knight g4. Vignesh says it presses against the ear, so there is more circulation of blood. I think Vignesh, it's more to do with me not listening to myself very clearly. Sometimes it gets monotonous, when you are talking continuously for 4 hours or 3 hours. And maybe that's the reason, I think. But maybe I'm mistaken. I'm not sure. Knight f3 check. Oh, what a cool move, yeah, knight f3 check. You can't go here. You can go here. But then after take, and take, you are just a piece down. So, and if you go king h3, yeah, here king h3, e5 seems to be over with a check. King has nowhere to go. So that doesn't seem good. So he had to give up his queen here. But then, yeah, it's just over. Yeah, it's taken on c2, taken on b3. I think also he's seen that this check does not help. Bishop d5, rook b3, bishop b3, and in the end, yes, you won back your queen, but you are just 2 pawns down. Yeah, Shashi Kiran is lost. BP Sara has performance of 2600. Will she get a GM now? Rama Kumara Teja Kalivarappu. If she's played 3 Grandmasters, I think in order to make your GM norm, you have to play 2 GMs or 3 GMs. So, and if she's done that, then I think she has made it. Yeah, she's made it there. Yeah, Raunak Sadhwani versus Hans Niemann. Ooh, Hans Niemann is beating Raunak. That's a big result. Because I would say Hans Niemann and Raunak kind of strength-wise, I would say they are roundabout even. Maybe bishop f4, f5, ef, queen f6, h5, queen g3. d5, rook d4. Yeah, all good for Raunak until now. He's playing pretty well. Bishop e2 maybe was not the best. Here, maybe knight f3 was correct. ef3, then rook takes on e5. Was hanging. She went bishop e2, rook f8, queen e3. Now knight c8. And actually black has kind of gotten white into a bind. Interesting. Check here. Yeah, very interesting game, yeah, played by Hans. Queen trade. Yeah, I think Raunak might lose this after something like b4. Because if cb4, there is rook check. Let's say b4, take, rook check, rook d1, rook d1, bishop d1, rook f2. And it's not so easy to assess such positions, but yeah, this is hanging, and if you play a4, then d4, and then the d pawn is very strong. So that's winning. Will you stream tomorrow's Blitz, Sagar? By Suraj asks. I'm not sure about that. Maybe not. I would like to take some time off from this everyday streaming and then prepare myself. Tomorrow I have like a small surgery of my wisdom tooth. I need to get it extracted. So I won't, I think I might need some rest. Like I can't talk much, but I mean, the doctor said you can talk. So I'm not sure. Let's see. Prathamesh says, when will you upload Because We Care series first video? Yeah, I have received all the questions and I think I'll do it soon. Asad says, this is true phenomenon. Headphones help you focus, narrow your point of concentration. Hence, your mind is not thinking much about the surroundings, hence less tired. No, when I talk, I'm not distracted. In fact, commentary is the time of the day when I am the least distracted. I have my eyes set on the position, what's happening, and the chat. So it's the least distracted I am ever in throughout the day. It's just that when I remove this, even now, I'm like, oh, फिर से मेरा ही आवाज सुनना है. I don't know. It's a little bit tiring, but this is like, oh, I don't need to. Thushank Pujari says, why Adhiban had so poor performance in spite taking off from CSN? I think, oh, by the way, B4 has been played by Hans. He's very strong. Yeah, he found this move very quickly. What about C4? You take, I take, you take, and D2. Yeah, that just quits and wins. Sometimes it does happen, guys, that when you plan something and you are like, I really want to make it to the candidates, I don't want any distractions, and you take off and you work really hard, you don't distract yourself, and then for something for which you are preparing also doesn't go your way, and that feeling sometimes is really bad, but you learn a lot from this entire experience. And I respect Adhiban, for fighting so hard in this tournament. Sethuraman versus Rakhmanov still going on. Slightly better for Sethu. And Surya versus Chigayev Maxim. It seems like Surya is in trouble with white pieces. Are you planning to stream Carlsen versus Nepo match, Madhu? I think I might not stream it. I might come live from Dubai for some time. But I will do like roundups after the game. I would show you behind the scenes things, what's happening there, write analysis, articles, stuff. It will be very interesting. You'll get to know more things because I think there are many commentary streams that would be going on. In fact, Anish is commentating for Chess24. Vishy is commentating for Chess.com. So, I could have also commentated at that point, but I thought, let's just, I've always wanted to be on site for World Championship. And I also wanted to see how things happen behind the scenes. We'll try to bring more flavor of the event from there. Try to figure out, how the players try to prepare, do things behind the scenes. What are the things, we'll see. Udhar jaake we'll try to bring. Um, Bishop c5 has been played. Travel with Nikhil Roshan says, I will try, but not sure if I'll make it to Kolkata in that period. Also, can we send t-shirt ideas to you? How? Travel with Nikhil Roshan, chessbaseindia@gmail.com. If you send us, I would read it. Oh, by the way, draw in the game of Yu Yangi versus MVL. I think the big mistake for Yu Yangi came when he took this knight. He should have, kept his bishop on the board. The moment he took it, MVL managed to hold it with this play, and they repeated. So that means that Caruana most likely will become the second player. So it's actually amazing that Caruana and Ali Reza both have reached the candidates, and I think that's fair in a way. Like, in the Grand Swiss, often slightly less strong players make it to the candidates, and but this time you've got like two super strong players in the candidates, Caruana and Alexander Predke. Apurva Bantia says, a larger part of your brain remains active, alert, in anticipation of more sensory input when you hear headphones. Hence, some added alertness and lesser tiredness is felt, maybe. A larger part of your brain remains active, alert, in anticipation of more sensory inputs. Not sure. But yeah, interesting. I mean, how does... Yeah, maybe possible. Like, my brain is thinking that something would come, but then there's nothing. It's just quiet. It's Navya's period. I'm showing you the games from Leech's website. Yeah, Ali Reza. Did I say something wrong? Sorry, Ali Reza and Caruana have made it to the candidates. Om Gada says, who is the 70th GM? It was Ritvik Raja. 70th GM. Hemila Patel, yes. With its vice chances of qualifying for candidates to Grand Prix. Also, Anish's chances of qualifying for the candidates is through Grand Prix. So that means even if this game ends in a draw, then Caruana will make it to the candidates. Blaze Whitey says, Sagar, if a player loses, some people criticize him and forget that he's also a human. I think it's part of being someone in the limelight, that you get a lot of love, a lot of people adore you for your achievements, and it's also true that when you lose, you get the flake, so it's part of it. And I think most of the top players, they kind of understand it. It's part of their mental preparation, or you can say part of them becoming more evolved as a top player, that they are able to take the criticisms in their stride. I mean, the bigger the player you are, the much more harsh comments come to you. Because many times, when you are very successful, let's say as a player, I mean, for example, let's take Vishy Anand. If you are very successful, you've won the world championship so many times, then many people feel like, he's already very, he's achieved so much. And if we criticize something, it won't impact. And like, people don't many times feel very empathetic towards him or towards a person who is very successful, because I think it's very difficult to feel empathy towards a person who's achieved so much. It's like you are not in the same league many times. And but I think it's very difficult for these top players, not just Vichy. You can talk about any player who is at the top of their sport, say Federer or say Phelps or Virat Kohli, or all these players. And yeah, there are moments which are very difficult often, but I think it's all they've learned how to handle success and failure. 95 by Yuri Kuzubov. I think Harikrishna won't be able to win this. Would be a draw. And Shashi Kiran has lost his game to Anton Korobov. So Shashi Kiran's tournament ends on a slight low after, he performed beautifully in the first 9 rounds of the tournament. I think if we just see his scorecard, Shashi Kiran gained 14 points before this round, and after losing this, he might gain around 10 elo points, which is still pretty good. But he beat some strong players like Fedosiev, Pragg, Elyanov. And yeah, many people are asking, what about Harika? Actually, for Harika, if you see, she was on number 5 spot before this game. So she drew. It's possible that she will make it in top 8. Harika unbeaten as always, super solid. Gained 5 elo points, 5 to 6. That's amazing. Apurva Bantia, thank you for becoming booster of Indian chess. Very kind of you to support Indian chess. Caruana still fighting hard. I love the players who fight hard in the last round of a tournament. It feels heroic, I'll tell you. And I think I've mentioned this before, but in the last round of many tournaments that I have played, by the way, this is the position. There are on the last day pieces being packed, tables being dismantled all around you, and there you are sitting on your board trying to think, and everything around you is being, because they paid the rent only until the closing ceremony, many of the tournaments that happen, and then they're all trying to pack up things as quickly as possible, and you are focusing there, and they're like, the organizers are hoping, "Arey jaldi khatam karo," type of feeling. And I find that entire atmosphere to be very calming. I don't know. Have you experienced this before? That amidst a lot of noise or a lot of things, like when there is just little noise, it gets distracting. But when there's a lot of noise, I find my focus often. Like if I'm at the railway station and reading a book, and there is this trains coming and the hawkers shouting and the people talking to each other, I can just be at calm, because I know that. But let's say when you're at home and there is one crow who is cawing, and you are like, "Oh, this is too distracting." But when there's a lot of noise, you feel in the zone. And maybe that's what happens often when in tournaments, like, in the final rounds, so much happening, and you feel like, okay, this is where I belong. Oh, by the way, Swapnil Telang, thank you for becoming backer of Indian chess. Some people do feel the same. Okay, very nice. Arnav says, I have experienced while writing my international spelling bee final paper. Ooh, nice. Okay, now I think this is how the game ends. Now you can't take AB because I take BD3 and I stop the pawn. So you take bishop B5. Then I take bishop A3, but I think Caruana will... yeah, bishop A3 is taken. Pawn up, but opposite color bishops, and I think all that Pragg has to do is get his bishop from here to E6, but has to be slightly careful because there's some discourse here. Maybe rook B7. How is that move? Just, yeah. And next I go BD7, then I put bishop E6. Himila Patel says there was a contest for Chessbase India Premium Chess Set during Olympiad 2. What was the result? It's already posted there on the, if you see on the post, we have written to the winners that you have been chosen. So you can just check that. Shyam Vatika says maybe because we know that we can't remove the sounds in the railway, but we can do it with the crow. True. It's an interesting point of view as well that you can control a crow cawing, but you can't control things which are, so like at the railway station. So you feel more at peace. You're like, okay, accept karte. Maybe some things, if you just accept it, you feel at peace. Caruana Oparin will be a tie break or book holes? Interesting question by Shiv Shom. I think it's going to be book holes. And also Oparin's, if we just have a look at book holes, is often very confusing. But if we see before the round, then Oparin had 54.5 and Caruana had 59.5. Now, what is book holes is the sum total of your opponent's points that are added of all the rounds. And I don't think Oparin's all the opponents in 10 rounds, remaining 10 rounds, would have scored 5 points more than Caruana's opponents. So that being said, I think Caruana will... sorry, it's 55 and 50.5 tiebreak one. So it's 4.5 difference. Dark Horse says candidate spots. Magnus or Nepo, whoever loses. Ali Reza, right? Duda, Karyakin, Rajabov, Fabiano. Very rightly said. And then 2 spots from the Grand Prix. Yeah, if... Tushank, the tiebreak will be the book holes. So a draw has been agreed here after E6 or not? No. They're still playing, yes. Or maybe they agreed to a draw. Fabi drew. So maybe Fabiano is through. Vincent is fighting, yeah. Vincent came out. Maybe draw. This is a draw. Harikrishna versus Yuri Kuzubov. Which takes F6. Draw. Sadhwani versus Hans Niemann. Raunak says, when is FIDE Grand Prix? I think in Feb maybe. That's when it is. Samay is streaming. Oh, very nice. Samay has started his stream, and I think most likely I will end my stream also soon. And then you guys can also check him out and follow his streams if you enjoyed. Sethu versus Rakhmanov. Ooh, Sethu. If Sethu wins today, this tournament, I think Sethu has recovered admirably in this tournament, if I'm not wrong. He would gain rating after, he's played pretty well. Adhiban lost a lot of rating points. And it would be nice if Adhiban can end with a high. I don't know what is his position today. Let's have a look at Adhiban's game against Miezis Normund. Aha, Adhiban has a nice position today with white pieces. How do we say that? Firstly, the d6 pawn is weak. The d6 pawn can be taken. So it is slightly weakened. But let's say if you take here as black with the threat of h4, which looks very, very dangerous. I would love to play rook d6. But black will go h4. And somehow this position becomes tough. Because if you take here, I take check. You take here. I play check. King has to go here. I go check. King g2. And I take this queen. Okay. So maybe things might get nasty here. How about e4? Rook f6 and rook takes f3. I think this is what AD will do, this position. And Megha Patra says Divya's scorecard. I think Divya is losing a few points. We just checked it. She's losing around 6 or so elo points, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, let's have a look just for you guys. This is what it is. So -6. And she lost today. So maybe -8 or so. Oh, meanwhile, Miezis has gone h4. And this gives Adhiban a completely winning position. He's blundered here. What are Anish's chances for the candidates? Pretty good. Pretty good. I think it will be very strong, the chances of Anish getting to the candidates. By the way, h4, g4 played by AD, queen g5. And now, careful. How do we continue? I think one way is to go king h3, defend this pawn. A mistake would be definitely this. Why is this a mistake, guys? Can you figure out what will black play? Harikrishna drew, huh? Okay, got it. What are Vidit's chances for the candidates? I think Vidit's chances are very interesting. Also, he's very hungry to play chess these days. He plays, missing this tournament. He must be feeling like, kya miss ho gaya? Yeah, Queen G2 mate by Bondita, Phoenix Asimov, Jaswant, AFM, Vedant, Ajish. Right. So this is a mate here. And I think Vidit will have... I'm looking forward to Vidit playing in Grand Prix. It will be exciting. King h3 has been played. At what online rating would I definitely win under 1600 to 1800 rated tournament in Hyderabad, if that matters? My chesscom rating is around 1850. Harsha, it's very difficult to say because your rating is built upon a different time control, not just over the board and online, but it's also on different time control. You're never going to play 90-minute games online, very rarely if you play. And so it's very tough to say what your strength would be in that time control. So I wouldn't be able to guess it. But let's say if you're around 2400, then maybe good chances there, 24, 2500. Too much, right? Then you might even be very strong player, like close to maybe IM title if you're around 25, 2600. Yeah, Mayur says just saw 71st GM of India news. Congratulations to Sankalp. Thanks, Mayur. Vishwa Tech, thank you so much. Can a GM also miss mate in one move? Niemann versus Raunak. Really? Who missed it? No. C8, C1. Where is the mate in one miss? I don't think there is. There was. Where exactly? I didn't see it. Maybe you are mistaken somewhere. Can we look at Howell versus Kamer Goblet Fire? Okay, let's have a look. But I thought it's drawn. Because it's like two rooks versus queen. The two rooks won't move much. A6 is weak, but the rook defends it. Yeah, I think this, and also white can't make progress. B4 is weak. Should be a draw. Yeah, Kramnik once missed a mate in one against Fritz. I can show you that position. Let me see if I can pull it up. It made headlines back in the day. I was a very young boy, and I remember seeing it. It's like, what? Kramnik was black, yeah, and Fritz was white. So let me see if I can pull it up, and maybe you guys have already seen it, but if you haven't seen it, then you'll enjoy it. This entire episode, which many times gives you the confidence that, oh, even the greatest players in the world go wrong. It was in 2006, maybe, wasn't it? Which year was it? 2000. Yeah, Born, Man versus Machine, 2006. Was the year. I was 16 years old. I remember I was at my coach's place. I just entered and he was seeing the games and he was like, oh my God, this is a checkmate. Yeah, got the game. Got the game. Nice. So this was the game. And so what happened was, yeah, this is the annotated version in ChessBase. So here, Kramnik was playing against Fritz, and it was a second game. I think the first game was drawn. Then he won, like the Fritz won this. So here, Kramnik had a good position, and he had to go King G8, and then, if you give the check, you can win this. But the move he played here was a complete oversight, and he played Queen E3, and you see where the mate is, right? Shiv Prakash asks why Amruta isn't commentating anymore. She will join soon at some events. Maybe in this one I did not. Sagar bhai, openings pe series le aao na, please. Yes, I was talking to GM and he was very interested to do something together, something like very interesting opening streams, and I think we'll do it together. Something interesting will happen soon. Yes, Queen at 7 mate, read my message, Hemila Patel, Goblet Fire, Shubham Yadav, Sharvil Chauri Dule, Aditya Lake, Bondita Bhagwati, Deep Shetty, and mate. Yes, Arshad, I'm going to Dubai. And this is a checkmate. So it was a very shocking kind of a game. Oh, why did this come here? Okay, nice. Move 39 in the game between Raunak and... It was a mate. No, I don't think it was, but let me just check to be 100% sure. I don't think on move 39 there was a mate knight g3. Because he went, first he gave a check, and then he went queen g6. So if you go knight g3, then it's queen g3. So it's not a mate. Pablo Escobar says, मेरा नाम तो लो भाई, सबसे पहले बोला मैं गेम आने से पहले. अच्छा, you said it before the game. Vinod Kumar says, Chucky missed a simple maiden one against Anand in 1995 Rapid London and lost on time. Yes, there's also a video on it. It's a very, very nice video, I think. Ah, yes. Shaibi says there was a recent game between Levon and Duda, which we had streamed. It was a Queen D2 mate in the French Vinaver variation. I remember, very recent, mate in one was missed. By the way, here, whoa, guys, something truly interesting has happened in this game. Maybe Raunak Sadhwani is back with his chance. So D4 was the best move here, defending the pawn. And if you go knight F3, then from this game of Ali Reza and Caruana, we have learned that many times these two pawns are good enough. So you can just put your bishop here. And then let's say he tries to create a passer, but go C2, A4, D3 and D2 coming in. You're too slow. So I am actually super surprised that Niemann didn't go D4. In fact, he took here with the hope that his opponent takes here and then he will have a check and he will win the knight. But if Raunak now goes knight F3, this is hanging. You can't play D4 because there's knight D4. He's played knight F3. And if I could see Niemann's video right now, he must be shaking his head profusely. Because here, there is knight D4. I attack this pawn and I stop bishop F5. So all in all, the game has turned around like anything. Oh my God. It's completely lost. Harsh Thakur says, would this be your first in-person World Championship? Yes. As a reporter, yes. In 2013, I went to Chennai to watch Anand Carlsen because there was a tournament in Chennai which I was playing during that time. And after 4 rounds, I think I went on the 5th round. I was also, this Follow Chess app at that point. There was no Follow Chess app, but the founder of it, Asim, had made an app for the World Championship match. And it broadcast the games. And after the games, there were annotated games that would come in the app, which was annotated by me. And so it was like when I went there, I was playing a tournament. I played a round in the morning, then I went there, then I played next day. So it was like I couldn't enjoy the World Championship match altogether. This time will be the first time where I'll go and I'll be totally dedicated to covering the World Championship match, the stories around it and all of it. So I'm very excited. Vedant says, how will top 8 be decided with same scores? Vedant, when top 8, it will be decided with bookholes, if you are on same score. Firuza recently said that he just wanted to play good chess as Avijit. Probably in this mindset, results would have been better. Yeah, I think it's always nice when you just want to play good chess and you are able to. C2 has been played by Hans. And now I think knight d4. It's straightforward. I think Raunak will play it. A chronic evaporation. Yeah, Raunak plays it. Says, Sagar, what do you make of Nihal's performance? Is he too hesitant to engage opponents in complex and fighting positions? What should I make out of his string of draws? I think not really. I think it's a very solid performance. You can also understand from his rating performance. He's gained 10 ELO points at the ELO of 2650. That means he has performed much higher than his rating. And, it takes some time to beat these top players. He was already able to beat a couple of them in this event. So, all in all, I think a very, very positive result. I mean, you could look at saying that 9 draws out of 11 rounds, but you could also say that he didn't lose a single game. Rishikesh says, would it be okay to trade the rooks in this situation? Yes, I think so. Like, for example, actually, let's think about a good question. If I take here, you take here, I take here. Now the king is far away. And let's say I go bishop f5 to attack your knight. So you go knight d4. I go king f6. If you take, then you're in trouble because king is very active. So you go king g1. I play king e5. Still taking is not good because this is a lost endgame. King e4, king e2, d4 already. And then there's b4. Yeah, so maybe king f4, king f2, a5, and somehow this is winning. So actually, I would recommend that not to take here, but knight c2 and then bring your knight back would be better. But still, I think Raunak's task is not so simple to hold. I think he should start with king g1, get the king into the game rather than, taking here. But a good question, good question. Rohit says, Sagar, why Magnus not playing Grand Swiss? Firstly, he doesn't have to because he's already the world champion. What will he do qualifying to the candidates? And also, even if he loses this match, he gets direct seat into the candidates because as the loser of the world championship match, you get that. And secondly, I think he's preparing for his match. So that's the reason why. Yes says, should we play continuous chess or devote more time to understand theory and preparation to improve? I think there are both the approaches are valid. Some players prefer to play and learn from it. Like, this, many players might have done that, but Nihal has done it a lot, playing a lot of tournaments and a lot of events and a lot of online games. The other approach is to just keep on working on your chess and your improvement happens. I think whatever works for you. Niemann says world championship formats needs change. Yeah, it's a good statement, and then I think we can discuss this for the next hour or two. Personally, I like the match format. It's like, I wouldn't say I like it from the perspective of like player as such or something. I like it from the perspective of a person who follows the sport. It's like, imagine there's one like the top player of the sport who's sitting on the throne at the top. And there's this challenger who's making his way through first, winning Grand Swiss or winning World Cup, or some gets a candidate spot. Then he beats everyone in the candidate, like fighting, and then he meets this guy who's sitting on the throne, and he says to him, "Bow to me," and then he says, "No, I'm going to engage you in a fight, and I'll take the throne away from you." And then they fight for 14 rounds, 1-1. I mean, and then eventually one who wins gets the crown. It's like chess as a sport, which is like has this long historical tradition, which started way back in the time from Stenitz winning the title, and you can say Morphy was the unofficial first world champion, but started with Stenitz and then went to Lasker and Capablanca and Alekhine, and this world champions, like these 16 world champions, they hold this entire thread of history together from Stenitz to Carlsen. 16 people. I think in the world which is fast-paced, changing, ever-changing, this World Championship match format does bring in some kind of a feeling of, nice. It's also somewhere, some of the traditions, just for the sake of it, are interesting. But yeah, I mean, I'm not completely for it, or there are always points against it, and yeah. Mukul Arora says, "Remember me? I asked you to teach me at 11:58. Yes, Mukul, and I said to you, go to sleep. And you won second position representing your school. Very good. Very nice." In Raunak game, after bishop f5, b4, there's no need to play c2. You can directly go d3. Muktanand Pen says. Just a second, guys. 1 second. I think what you were saying is that in this position, instead of c2, like after c2, knight f3, right? Here. Yeah. You mean instead of d4, I can go c2. Possible, but then knight f3. What about take bishop f5? The king comes in, I think. Yep. Oops. Maybe you start with d4, that's the thing. And then here, here. And then bishop f5. King g2. Now you have to find this move d3. Because if you play c2, then king f2. And if rook c3, then d3, d2, d1. Sethuraman versus Rakhmanov. Whoa, Sethu is better. Better. Galaxy 111111 says, "Sorry to say, but some of our current strong players lack the discipline and dedication of guys like Anand. Talent has to be combined with dedication and discipline to go real far." It's a very the statement sounds good when you hear it, but I think it is not backed by hardcore evidence. often we combine dedication, or we relate dedication to the results that the top players have, and I think that's not the right way to look at it. But anyway, it's a topic for discussion at some point again. So many things, yeah, to discuss with the chat when. Yeah, I think I'm trying to get back my internet, but it doesn't have that much power. Okay, I'm back. I think if you just need to refresh it. Yeah. Yeah, just experiencing some issues, but I think I'm back, and hopefully this time it will stay. So should we do the roundup, guys? Should we get the roundup done? I think we are back. Just try to refresh, and everything would be good. Yeah. Okay, so in this event, let's start with our roundup, so that we've been doing roundups every single day, and I think we should do it this time also. Avijit says, why Kolkata Tornado has no online booking like preceding years? It's first come first serve basis, that's why, at the hall, and there is no cost to the tickets this time. Okay, let's go. And I think we can also have a look at how our players have performed in this tournament overall. So you get a complete idea of, what are the results. So firstly, let's start this recap with the game of Alireza Firuza and Grigory Oparin. Alireza drew against Oparin and ended this tournament with a score of 8 out of 11, which is tremendous because he gained close to 12 ELO points. He became world number 4. He beat many strong players like Schweritz, Predke, Nair, Shashi Kiran, Howell. And in spite of his loss to Caruana, he finished the tournament with 8 points out of 11, half a point clear of the entire field, and booking his first candidates ever, first spot in the candidates at just the age of 18 years. It's simply tremendous what this youngster has achieved, and truly unbelievable. The second candidate spot went to Fabiano Caruana, because Caruana drew his game with Alexander Pragg, and although Caruana reached on 7.5 points, the same score as Grigory Oparin, his tiebreak is better than Oparin, and that's the reason why he got the second spot. So Caruana and Firouzja are two players who qualified to the candidates 2022. As for the Indian players, I think the final day was nothing extraordinary for them. Harikrishna drew his game against Yuri Kuzubov. He didn't have too much of an advantage throughout the game, and overall, he drew. For Harikrishna, this tournament wasn't particularly great, but I think he managed to recover pretty well, and maybe he lost a few rating points, but roundabout he was very solid. By the way, these are here maybe he has scoring 6.5 points out of 11. Moving on, we had Nihal Sarin draw his final game against Daniil Dubov. Nihal was playing with the white pieces. Maybe he had a small advantage, but in the end, Daniil defended pretty well. Like here, Nihal is definitely slightly better, but the pieces were exchanged, and then eventually the players agreed to a draw. For Nihal Sarin, I think this tournament was an amazing one. He managed to gain tangible rating points. He's now 2-6-6-2, and also unbeaten. He beat Kirill Georgiev, Temur Kuibakorov, and drew with Fabiano Caruana, Pavel Ponkratov, Manuel Petrosian, David Navara, Gabriel Sargsyan, Parham Maksudlu, Diaz Bogdan, Fedosiev, and many top players. So great final result for Nihal Sarin. Moving on, we had Shashi Kiran, who was most likely the player of the tournament for India till a point, but lost his last 2 rounds. And I think at some point we were also expecting that he might even finish in top 2 in the tournament. But yes, I understand Sama is calling. I just want to finish this roundup and then join him, because I just want to, in between. So I'll be there. He launched his pawns to the king side. However, this entire maneuver of bishop d8 to b6 was very classy by Korobov, and then here black was taking over, and Shashi Kiran did not manage to hold. Like here, after rook f2, he went rook f1, but knight f3 check came in, and he had to give up his queen, because if king h1, there is rook f1, bishop f1, queen c3. If king h3, there is e5 check. And that is why black was totally winning, and Anton Korobov beat Shashi Kiran. But for Shashi, I would say this has been a great event. He showed that he can fight with the best players in the world on kind of an equal footing, and this is how he did. He managed to gain few ELO points. He managed to even beat players like Vokidov, Fedosiev, Pragg, Elyanov. So great result for Shashi. Moving on, I think the other Indian players, Arjun Erigaisi drew his last round game against Wojtaszek. I think Arjun was worse in this position with the black pieces, but Wojtaszek could not convert it, and then eventually the game ended in a draw here. For Arjun also, this was a very solid event. I think for Arjun, he lost 2 games and he won 2 games. So he scored 5.5, 50% score, and gained a couple of rating points. So which is a good news for Arjun. Going back here in the another game which was interesting was Raunak Sadhwani versus Hans Niemann. It's still in progress, but it's just amazing that Raunak managed to get an equal position after being totally lost. So somewhere around here, Raunak was losing because knight f2 check, rook f2, he was exchanged down, he exchanged the queens, and Niemann actually played this phase of the game very well by playing b4, takes, and c2. Okay, here basically the mistake came on rook takes here. If he had played d4, then he would have won the game, because after here take, bishop f5, king g2, there is d3, takes, and d2. And Niemann was winning completely. But this move rook takes a2 turned to be a blunder. And then after knight f3, c2, and Raunak has managed to hold this. I think it'll end in a draw. He can even go knight f4 here and hold the game. So for Raunak, this event also was a pretty good one. He has been showing some great performance here, and if you look at the scorecard, Raunak has managed to gain few rating points, at the same time beaten players like Rakhmanov, Gukesh, Alexei Drev. So all in all, a good show by the Nagpur youngster. Sethuraman has recovered pretty well from this event, and I think he's winning against Rakhmanov here, and I think Setu got a slightly inferior position out of the opening, but slowly and steadily managed to turn the screws on the position. Like here, black has plenty of compensation, but maybe slowly Rakhmanov lost the thread of the game. And here, white started to take over, and then Setu started pushing his pawns. g5, takes, and the king is very weak. And here maybe queen e5 to h2, and then rook h8 would become very, very dangerous. So with this, Sethuraman, I think, might win. And for Setu, the tournament maybe didn't start so well, but I think has ended pretty well with he drew with many players and also beat Lucas Van Forest, and a 50% score is a good one for Sethuraman. Today, the two youngsters faced off against each other, Gukesh and Pragnananda. I think Gukesh had a small edge in the position here. Maybe he had to go d5 here, but he went rook e1, and then eventually the game, pieces got traded and the game ended in a draw. I think for both Pragnananda and Gukesh, this tournament would leave a lot to be desired, because if you see Pragg, he beat Adhiban, he beat Rauf Mamedov, but he then lost to Alexei Sarana, Ivan Šarić, and also Sevian Samuel. So he gained a couple of ELO points, while Gukesh here, he lost around 7 ELO points. And I think for Gukesh, it's been a long trip playing several events. In fact, when he was playing the Chess Super League, he was also playing in Armenia. So the youngster definitely is very, very tired after this huge trip. Meanwhile, Surya Ganguly lost his game to Chigayev Maxim, and I think Surya had a decent position. In fact, he was doing pretty well until some point. But then Maxim Chigayev started playing on the dark squares a little bit. And I think this h4, and slowly Surya got outplayed. Like queen came here, knight came to g5, bishop d7. This tactical blow came in, because if you were to take queen takes e4, then there is this very interesting move, queen f2, and there is just no way to stop this mate on h2. It's a very tricky one, but it's a very nice tactic, knight e4, and very sharply spotted by Maxim Chigayev. So for Surya, this tournament also was a mixed bag. I think he played well overall, but in the end, losing some elo points, did beat Budia Savlejevic and also Alexei Drev, and has performed close to his rating. After that, I think he covered majorly all the Indian players. Adhiban winning his last round against Normand Miezis. Adhiban had kind of an equalish position, but I think Miezis went a little bit too far here. Like you can see here that white was better. But after, say, g5 takes, black should have taken queen g5 with the threat of h4. But the moment he played h4, Adhiban went g4 and king h3. Very nicely done. And here, he took the h4 pawn and he managed to, convert this into the rook endgame. So for Adhiban, I think this was maybe one of the most painful events of his chess career. But I think it's always such tough events which make you into a tough character and also teaches you a lot. He has lost close to 24, 25 elo points. And I think it has moved him out of the top 100 in the world rankings. But I think the beast will soon get married and play at the Tata Steel Chess India, and we will be looking forward to him showing his true colors there. Moving to the women's section, we had Harika, who drew her game with Mariya Muzychuk. I think it was around equal, and Harika playing with black managed to play pretty solid chess, and in the rook endgame she drew the game here. And the players agreed to a draw. So for Harika, this entire event has been fairly solid, and true to her style, she did not lose a single game. In fact, she won 3 games and has managed to score 7 points out of 11, gaining 6 elo points. And I think it was a good performance. She could finish in top 8 and qualify for the Women's Grand Prix for the next cycle, I believe. So it's a very good performance by Harika. She would have loved to finish first in the tournament. However, Lei Tingyi was too strong. She scored a massive 9 points out of 11 with a performance of about 2700. And I think no one had chance in this event to catch her up. Vantika Agrawal, I would say, has been the absolute find of this event for India. And Vantika was playing Natalia Pogonina. Vantika scored her first IM norm in 9 games. And then in the remaining 2 games also, she's been super solid. And I think Vantika was slightly worse lost a pawn, but she was a pawn up, so in the end she managed to hold it because of the opposite colored bishops. And that was really cool because I think 6.5 points in this tournament and gaining close to 50 ELO points is really amazing for Vantika. She moves to 2370 plus ELO. Only one loss to Alexandra Koschenyuk, beating Divya, Luzhan Carolina, Natalia Buksa, drawing with some legendary players. This is a tremendous event and tremendous boost for Vantika Agrawal. Great play by her. And I think she is the player for India overall in this event. Vaishali lost her game to Alina Kashlinskaya. I think the position was okay. Rook a6 was played. And I think Vaishali gave away some material. But in the end, the king managed to run away to safety and white won this. So I think Vaishali also played pretty well in this tournament. And she lost a few rating points here, but good experience for Vaishali. She beat Kamaladinova and Alina Bivol in this event. Padmini, first Divya Deshmukh. Divya lost her game to Elena Danelian. And the position was already worse out of the opening for Divya. In fact, this position was okay. She pushed her pawn to b3. And I think that kind of led to her downfall. The pawns were too weak. And then slowly Divya managed to convert this into... Elena Danelian managed to convert this into a win. And Divya scored 4 points in this event out of 11. She lost around 7 to 8 ELO points. Fought hard. I think learnt a lot. She had 3 wins. I think one against Jovanka Huska would be one that she will remember from this event as a positive experience. And lastly, we had Padmini Raut, who lost her game today to Mary Arabidze. Padmini was slightly worse, but her opponent slowly, managed to convert this with the black pieces. And the king is too weak and it's going to get checkmated very soon with queen a8 and queen a6. So Padmini lost this. I think she was one of the players who had many good positions in this tournament, but they didn't go her way. And she overall lost some 5 to 6 ELO points, but beat Pia Kramleg, Vaishali and Ezu Gueri. 4 points for her. So that was the overall roundup from the tournament. We had Caruana and Firuza number 1, Caruana number 2 qualifying for the candidates. Top 8 spots in the open section go to the FIDE Grand Prix as well. And we also had Leitingi qualifying for the women's candidates, 1 spot. So congratulations to all of them. Indian players fought very hard. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. I did the commentary on all the days. There was roundup every day. So if you liked it, please do like this stream and video. And also do subscribe to ChessBase India if you enjoyed it. We had One super chat by Joy who says, Sagar, will you be there in Kolkata to cover the tournament? Yes, Joy, I will be there in Kolkata very much to cover the event, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone who's in Kolkata over there. PRT says, thank you for streaming classical top level tournaments like this. It has been very instructive. Please keep covering them. Thank you, PRT, for pointing out some very nice moments from this tournament. Remember, you showed that bishop a3 move and also many more. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, and I will also go and maybe now call Samay. Let's see what does he have to say. Okay, maybe he's busy in something, but let's see. I'll go to his stream later. Thank you all and talk to you soon. Bye bye.